The congressional floor is on fire. Republicans and Democrats side by side, tearing Donald Trump apart live. Shouts of outrage echoing through the halls. Congressmen slamming their desks. A bipartisan revolt like never seen before. Trump is isolated, cornered, losing allies by the second. This isn't political theater. This is a real-time collapse. How did we get here? How did Trump manage to unite traditional Republicans and Democrats against him in such an explosive way? The answer lies in a decision he made days ago, a defense of the indefensible that finally broke the backs of even his most loyal allies. It all started with a fatal shooting involving an ICE agent. Renee Good was killed. Videos from multiple angles circulated on social media showing the incident. The nation was in shock, families demanding answers. Protests beginning to emerge in multiple cities. And Trump decided to double down defending the agent. He didn't just defend, he attacked anyone who questioned it. And that's when everything fell apart. But before we continue, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you really enjoy what I do here. And tell me in the comments, where are you watching from? What city, what state, what time is it there right now? I want to know who's with me on this journey for truth. Now, with that done, let's continue. While the country was processing the tragedy, Trump went on the offensive. On social media, he started attacking critics, calling them enemies of law and order. The White House issued inflammatory statements defending the ICE agent without even waiting for preliminary investigation results. Trump was doing what he always does, turning a tragedy into a political weapon. He posted on Truth Social, "Our law enforcement agents are under attack. They make split-second judgments that save lives. Stop attacking our heroes." The message was clear. Trump wasn't backing down. He was building a narrative that any criticism of the agent was an attack on law enforcement itself. Speaker Mike Johnson, always loyal to Trump, also came to the agent's defense, stating he had acted in self-defense, that he'd been dragged by the vehicle, that his life was in danger. Johnson was selling Trump's version before any serious investigation even began. It was the classic MAGA playbook: control the narrative first, deal with the facts later. But Trump made a critical mistake. He underestimated how different this situation was. He thought he could use the same old strategy: attack, polarize, mobilize the MAGA base. What he didn't see coming was that this time, he'd gone too far. And what happened next changed everything. In the first days after the shooting, Democrats began pushing for an independent investigation. Congressmen like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Jamie Raskin took to social media demanding accountability. "We cannot normalize this," Raskin said at a press conference. "A person died. We need answers, not political propaganda." But the real pressure came when traditional Republicans started to crack. Senator Thom Tillis, who had already opposed Trump on other issues, was one of the first. "This is unacceptable," he said in an interview. "We can't defend the indefensible just because it's politically convenient. We're legislators, not cheerleaders." Congressman Don Bacon from Nebraska also broke his silence. "The White House's response to this incident is appalling, revolting. We're treating a tragedy like it's a political victory. This stains our nation." Bacon wasn't alone. Other Republicans who weren't seeking re-election began speaking out openly against Trump's stance. Public pressure was mounting. Families of police violence victims speaking out, civil rights organizations demanding justice. And on social media, the hashtag #GCHA, Justice for Renee, was trending. Trump was losing control of the narrative, something that rarely happened. And then something happened that Trump never imagined possible. Congress called an emergency session to discuss ICE policies and the administration's response to the shooting. What happened in that chamber was historic. Total chaos. Republicans and Democrats, united in fury, attacking Trump from all sides. Senator Elizabeth Warren opened fire. "This administration is defending an act that took the life of an American citizen. Where is the accountability? Where is the justice? Trump turned ICE into his personal militia and now wants us to accept this as normal. We won't accept it." But it wasn't just Democrats. Senator Mitt Romney, always cautious, went straight to the point. "Defending this action without waiting for the results of a complete investigation is irresponsible. It's a moral failure. We, as legislators, have a duty to seek the truth, not to protect political narratives." Congresswoman Liz Cheney, who had already paid the political price for opposing Trump, was even harsher. This is an attack on democracy and American values. Trump is staining the name of this country by defending the indefensible. It's time for Republicans to put country above party. The chamber was boiling over, congressmen banging on desks, shouts of shame echoing, journalists describing the scene as unprecedented. This wasn't a normal political debate. This was an institutional revolt against Trump. And look, in my opinion, this is the most dangerous moment for Trump. When your own party starts to see you as a political liability rather than an asset, the collapse is inevitable. But what came next was even more devastating. And then came the vote. A bipartisan resolution demanding an independent federal investigation of the shooting and ICE policies under Trump. The result? Overwhelming. 268 to 157. 23 Republicans voted with Democrats against Trump's position. 23 Republicans openly defying Trump on an issue he'd made personal. This wasn't a symbolic rebellion, it was a declaration. We're not following you into this madness. But this wasn't an isolated case. In the previous weeks, Trump had lost important congressional votes repeatedly. 17 Republicans voted with Democrats to extend Affordable Care Act subsidies, something Trump vowed to veto. 5 Republican senators joined Democrats on a war powers resolution on Venezuela, restricting Trump's military actions. The Senate unanimously approved placing the January 6th plaque honoring police officers, something Trump and Mike Johnson desperately tried to block. A pattern was emerging. Trump was losing his grip on the GOP. Party cohesion was crumbling. Republicans who used to bow to every Trump tweet were now calculating their own political survival. And Trump was on the wrong side of that equation. Senator Tillis summed up the sentiment. There are moments when you have to choose between political loyalty and doing what's right. This is one of those moments. And I choose to do what's right. Applause erupted in the chamber, from both sides of the aisle. This was the wow moment nobody expected. Trump, the man who controlled the Republican Party with an iron fist for years, was watching his authority disintegrate live on TV. And the scariest part for him? There was nothing he could do to stop it. Think about this for a second. Congress, Republicans included, saying no to Trump. This should be impossible. But here we were. And the consequences were just beginning. Trump went into panic mode. His social media posts became more frantic, more desperate. He started attacking Republicans who voted against him, calling them rhinos and traitors. But for the first time, the attacks didn't work. The Republicans who defied him didn't back down. They doubled down. Congressman Adam Kinzinger responded directly. Trump can call me whatever he wants. I sleep soundly knowing I did the right thing. He can't say the same. Other Republicans started ignoring Trump completely, an even more devastating strategy than confronting him directly. MAGA allies began abandoning ship quietly. Figures who used to defend Trump in every controversy were now conveniently silent. Even on Fox News, anchors were asking tough questions. The president needs to understand that defending this situation is costing him political support, said a conservative commentator. Trump was politically isolated like never before. The law and order narrative he'd built his presidency on was imploding. How can you be the law and order president when you're defending actions that Congress itself, including your own party, is investigating? It's revolting to see how Trump tries to turn every tragedy into a political weapon, and then acts surprised when it blows up in his face. And if you're enjoying this analysis, leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. We need to keep exposing the truth. Trump tried to reverse the damage by making appearances on conservative media, but each interview made it worse. He got defensive, attacked reporters, contradicted his own staff. This was cornered Trump, and it was painful to watch, even for some of his supporters, and Congress was just getting started. With Trump weakened, Congress saw an opportunity and moved forward. House and Senate committees announced hearings to investigate not just the specific shooting, but all ICE policies under Trump. Subpoenas were issued, documents requested, witnesses called. Democrats introduced legislation to completely reform ICE operations, including new use of force protocols, independent oversight, and transparent accountability. And here's the shock. Republicans started joining as co-sponsors. Senator Susan Collins, always moderate, announced she would support reforms. We need policies that protect both agents and citizens. The status quo isn't working. Senator Lisa Murkowski publicly agreed. Congress was sending a clear message. Trump no longer controls the agenda. His attempts to block investigations, to protect allies, to use executive power as a shield, all of it was crumbling. Democrats and Republicans formed a bipartisan working group to review immigration policies. Something that would have been unthinkable months ago was happening now because Trump had become so toxic that even his own party needed to distance themselves. And the pressure didn't stop. Protests in front of the Capitol, victims' families testifying before committees, law enforcement experts contradicting Trump's narrative. Each day brought a new revelation, a new complication, a new crack in Trump's armor. Trump was out of options. If he vetoed any reform legislation, he'd lose more Republicans. If he signed it, he'd be admitting his policies were wrong. It was a perfect political trap, and Congress knew it, but something even more explosive was approaching. But perhaps the most revealing moment came when Trump himself admitted defeat. In an interview with Sean Hannity, Trump acknowledged the obvious. Look, historically, the president always loses the midterms. No matter how good the job is, voters always want balance, a check. It's psychological or something. It was a rare admission of vulnerability. Trump was trying to prepare his base for the imminent defeat in the midterm elections. And the reason was clear. Republicans were distancing themselves from him to save their own campaigns. In competitive states, Republican congressional candidates stopped mentioning Trump in their ads. Some even started highlighting moments when they disagreed with him. The strategy was obvious. I'm a Republican, but I'm not Trump. Polls showed Trump in free fall after Congress's revolt over ICE. His approval among independents dropped to the low digits. Even among Republicans, the numbers were falling. The incident had become a symbol of everything wrong with his presidency. Impulsiveness, lack of empathy, prioritizing political narratives over people's well-being. Democrats were capitalizing. Campaign ads showing Trump defending the shooting, contrasting with Republicans who stood against him. Even members of Trump's own party said he went too far. Will you still support him? The GOP was in total civil war. MAGA loyalists attacking traditional Republicans as traitors. Traditional Republicans accusing MAGA of destroying the party. Donors starting to close their wallets. Political consultants predicting an electoral massacre. And in the middle of all this, Trump, isolated, vulnerable, on the ropes, desperately trying to regain control he'd already lost. In the coming weeks, the elections will seal Trump's political fate, and by current numbers, it's not looking good for him. But what does this really mean for the future? So here we are. Trump cornered by the very Congress that should be on his side. Republicans and Democrats united on one thing. Trump went too far. The defense of the ICE shooting wasn't just a political mistake. It was the moment when even allies said, no more. Trump on the ropes isn't just a slogan. It's the political reality he faces now. Isolated, losing votes. His own party calculating how long until they can get rid of him completely. And the midterms coming like a runaway train. But this congressional revolt raises an even bigger question. Is this the last straw? Have Republicans finally found the courage to break with Trump permanently? Or is this just another chapter in a saga that seems to have no end? One thing is certain. When Congress, Republicans included, says enough, democracy still has a pulse. And that, my friends, is something worth fighting for. Now, if this analysis made sense to you, if you saw here the behind the scenes that mainstream media doesn't show, leave a like on this video and share it with anyone who needs to understand what's really happening. We don't depend on corporations, parties, or big groups. We depend on you, the community that believes truth matters, that democracy is worth it, that together we're stronger. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next exclusive analyses. Things are changing fast in Washington, and you don't want to be left out. We're building something here, a community that doesn't accept lies, that demands accountability, that fights for democracy every single day. And look, there's a video you need to watch right now. It's about how the Trump administration is reacting to all this congressional pressure. And the tactics they're using are even more shocking than you imagine. The link is right here in the description, and also in the first pinned comment. Click there and continue with me on this journey for truth. The fight for truth continues, and we continue together in it.